Nigeria's distribution landscape is transforming due to online sales. The traditional model of manufacturer to distributor to retailer is fading as direct-to-consumer sales rise. Buyers can now get good prices in small quantities, and manufacturers offer lower prices by cutting out intermediaries. This shift has increased competition and price sensitivity. Online vendors, including dropshippers, can sell products at lower prices than physical store owners. Joining us to give meaning to this market ecosystem is an e-commerce merchant, Elulade Ololade Tosin. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Rachel.
Yes, we greet you right back. So it's been like an ongoing war in especially the social media space, because I saw a lady come out in a viral video to lament that many manufacturers are now taking up shops online to sell products at cheaper prices directly to the consumers, thereby cutting out the middlemen, the people who buy in wholesale and then retail to people, and it's becoming a problem. So now you don't have to go through your normal store seller to buy a product. You can go straight to the manufacturer and get it at even a cheaper price, and it's sort of imbalancing the market scale. So what do you have to say about this new dynamic?
Right. Once again, I greet you all. And before I proceed into giving a response to what you have just asked, I want to appreciate all the good work you've been doing.
Thank you, sir.
We watch you all the time, and sometimes I say to myself, this is something that men should be doing, but you guys have been wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
And we are proud to have you in Nigeria.
Oh,
and as
thank
in
you.
Nigeria. So kudos to you. And concerning what you have just asked, I want to say that, when we have business, definitely there's going to be marketing towards that business for people to know about it, for consumer, to patronize probably a product or a service. So definitely marketing is a part of the process. Or let me say marketing is a process of business promotion into selling of products and services.
Okay.
But definitely through that, there's going to be a research, into how to advertise such product. And that is why, if you go back to probably in the 80s, during like in the 70s and early 80s, we used to see people get horse around. Probably they get it from the manufacturer or from the company that produced certain products. That was what we were used to in the 70s, in the 80s. And as time goes on, we started seeing trade fairs. Companies bring their products to probably like the Festac or the what's it called, trade fairs. But there's something that we call trend in marketing. And this is what has brought the online into the system. And I want to put this to you because many have forgotten the process of this marketing. What we used to know then, I grew up in the rural area then, and I want to believe you know what we call in Yoruba, we call it power. I don't know if you've heard about that, probably in the 80s.
Yes.
There's something we call power. There was no internet. So people come around, get probably the used things that probably you have used before, or they get a new product from companies or manufacturers in order for new people to know about that product. They get probably what you've been using before. Then we used to have maybe used loads, and they tell you, oh, they have this product. And pots, then I don't know if you remember. That was how they got into Nigeria then, and they were like, oh yeah, let's bring whatever you've been using before and give you this new pot. So now, before you can advertise or promote your business, you need people because it's more expensive now. That's why companies, they look into, how do they go about it? They bring in online vendors, resellers, and series of other people into the system, one way or the other. But what you call war these days is not even war. It's just that the trend now is changing. The trend is changing, and that is what is bringing conflict between those that are, somehow going to be outdated in due time. And now company now knows that, oh yeah, definitely when they advertise well their product, they're going to sell it more.
Okay, let's get in a few more questions.
Are you saying the one that by January we're going to be having tax reform and we're going to be paying more tax? And in the process, if they're not making more money, how they continue to do business?
Let's get in more questions, sir.
Are you saying that this online marketers should just position for a new change? Because what I understand Parrot to be is completely extinct right now. It's no longer a form of business.
Explain that, Parrot. Let me get it.
Parrot is, in those days, you have hawkers. They'll bring new items into the market. They'll come hawking it to you. So, like for instance, they can even come with phones. But those days, women were interested in pots, pans, and
plates
things like that, plates and so. So they'll bring it. Parrot, you bring out your expensive old clothes.
Okay.
Maybe things that you got, like your damask. The more expensive, the more trendy the old clothes is, the better product you get.
I remember. So what's your question to him? Are you there, sir?
Because that form of marketing and trading had gotten extinct, and he's saying this is just, times are changing. Are you saying that the people should have hope there will be a new form they should position to enter into?
Paro now?
No, not Paro. No. These online marketers who are losing the middle ground that they've been using, these drop shippers. Should they just wait for a new innovative style of marketing that is coming?
Okay, let him answer the question, sir.
Is there hope?
Yes, definitely. If you understand me, what I'm saying is, during the time of the Arab and the hawking, there was a time people used to hawk. They go to get their product from the company, because at that time there was no internet. So if you remember, during the time of Molu, many people get products from the company. They come into the box, into the Molu, to introduce, because they know there are more people in the Molu to talk to. There was internet at that time, so nobody could go to the internet. So what they do then is they go into probably Molu, they go to probably under bridge, on top of the pedestrian bridge, they do flyer, banners, and stuff like that. But these days, many people don't do that. So this is why, because the trend has changed.
Okay.
People don't go through, like, going to the world, you can't go into the BRT, of course, So trend has changed. So the new trend, and which is almost even updated now again. And that is why maybe all these online, I call them online hawkers. Because during those days when people walk around hawking, these days what they do is they go on internet to hawk. So the trend has changed.
Okay, we get that, sir. Let me get a few more questions.
Okay, yes. So I hear you and understand what you're saying, like that. The market, with what's going on now with this new trend, the market is obviously saturated, right? So what's your advice to online vendors? Like, because if you're doing something and putting in time, effort, creating content, sourcing things, and you're not making enough money because there's just too much competition and the market is saturated, what's your advice to online vendors? Should they back out or should they stay the course?
Well, like I said earlier, trend determines what happens. Consumer preferences and market structures determines what happens. No other person could say, oh yeah, this is what I must do. These days, like I said earlier, there are things you can't do anymore. So now the trend is changing. Producers, manufacturers, now they know the problems that the online authors or the online vendors creating for them. Probably when we talk about cost implication, transparency, we talk about lack of dependency, series of things. Because the disadvantages of those online hawkers or online vendors, let me put it that way, the disadvantages of what they are doing is more to the manufacturers. Because sometimes you can't control the control. You can't control the control. You could go probably behind and probably make their own and put the same label and start hawking, or 10 people could come and patronize them. Series of disadvantages have been seen, and that is why these days many companies they now start to like, oh yeah, let us, like, okay, like in China, we have something like Alibaba, where consumers will buy probably in bulk, but you buy the same product and the same quality from a manufacturer. But that was in that time. But now that the economy is not even like smiling, that's why even also a company like Facebook has brought up something like the Facebook marketplace, where either you're a manufacturer or you are a seller, you could put your product on Facebook marketplace to get contact with the real consumer. And as you don't need to waste or reduce any cost for anybody for middleman or online vendor. And that's what they are seeing now happening. We have series of companies like that, and there are several ways at which companies or manufacturers will reach to consumers directly.
Okay. I get you, sir.
And they are controlled over their market.
Yeah, a few more questions,
that's a new
sir.
trend now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been mentioning about these trends. Can you elaborate more on these trends? And then I want to know, because from your bio, I can see that you have some e-commerce, website, Bitcoin, you are into cryptocurrency and all. So can you tell us some of your biggest challenges that, that has come from all of these things that you've just mentioned?
Well, like I said earlier, I'm an e-commerce merchant. I'm equally like a marketer, and presently I have my own like a product as well, where I bring in producers or manufacturers to come in contact with real consumers.
Okay.
And they don't need any middleman anymore. So that's how to control the quality, the transparency, the interest of both buyer and seller. Like if you check that, I have what they call Niger Corner. Niger Corner is a company that brings in seamlessly, we bring in both buyers and sellers together without any charges.
So, sir, you people are trying to knock out middlemen from the market, because this came as a result of, let's take for instance the Igbo Swahia. It's almost that's the Igbo connotation of the same thing, where you go to shops, you take their product, you go and meet people on the road, come and buy, and then you get your cut. This came as a result of people who were interested in the business not having the capital to start up the business.
Exactly.
I remember when I started my own hair business, I did a form of drop shipping as well. I didn't have the capital to start immediately. So I would get from the suppliers, and then I will market online, I'll sell, I put my cut, and then so you are trying to take business away from those people who do not have the capital to, set up a proper business. Do you think this is good for our economy?
And the security too.
A few seconds before I let you go.
Well, the thing is, what should be put into consideration more is you are the end users.
Okay.
How much are they getting such product? And, I'm not supposed to say this, but definitely, we are all Nigerians. We see what Dangote is doing right now.
Yes.
And we see the price of petroleum products. The way it's going down. And that's the only way we economists understand how to help the current economy. If you are considering, like the marketers, when before Dangote come into the place, we have oil marketers and all of that. We have to go through first scarcity and all of that. The same thing when you venture into patronizing the middlemen, the price is going to go up. Do you want to buy as high as they wish to sell, or you want to buy from the real manufacturer and at a better rate? Which one would you prefer? So it's not about me, it's about people, it's about consumer. We need to put into consideration.
Yes, I agree with you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today to explain this concept. I think we'll have to bring you back again. We have a few more questions, but because of time, we have to go. We've been speaking to Ololade Tosin, an e-commerce merchant. Thank you, ladies, for your contributions. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we're going to the topic for today. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.